Hello there. That was less of a slide, more of a twirl onto camera. Besides that, recently I got asked the question, what did you wish you knew when you got started as a barista? And it got me thinking. I've been doing this for a little bit over 7, actually kind of close to 8 years now. And there are definitely things that had I known them earlier on, it would have set me up for greater success in that initial learning period of my barista life. So today we're gonna run through the top 10 things I wish I knew before I started as a barista. And here's where I wanna kind of prompt you that if you work in coffee or really hospitality/food service, let me know down in the comments below what you wish you knew before you started, because there's gonna be some crossover here, and honestly, this can be kind of a great learning experience of additional things down in the comments below for people to search through. However, we have 10 things to talk about. Let's get started. Number 1, and this may seem obvious, but latte art is gonna take far longer to master than you think it is. I remember back when I started as a barista, I was so excited to finally put art on my lattes. I wanted to jump into tulips and stacks and rosettas and swans instantly. However, I had a harder time learning latte art because I tried to jump into those things sooner than I needed to. Latte art is all about building a base of techniques, and those techniques start from the very simple design of a monk's head, which is simply like a dot in the middle of your latte that you do a slight draw through on. It's kind of a half-finished heart. Now, you may be able to grasp the concept of that design pretty quickly. However, are you able to do it well, and do you understand what the milk is doing in order to create that design? Those are gonna be 2 key questions that are gonna help you have success later on as you integrate those skills into hearts and then tulips, and then you can kind of branch off into rosettas and swans and all the other fun stuff. I think for me, it took about, honestly, 6 months of pouring drinks before I felt like I was somewhere that was even decently good, and 6 months is a long time. Sometimes that's the extent of a job for someone. There will be exceptions, always. There are some people who click with latte art a lot faster. There are some people that take longer, but on average, expect latte art to take about twice as long as you think it's gonna take. Set time aside to learn the basics and don't rush ahead too fast. Number 2, a large percentage of the barista job are things that aren't coffee. All the latte art, all the drink making, all the tasting and talking to customers, I would view those as the more fun parts of the job. However, there is a massive portion of the job that is simply cleaning and restocking and stamping cups and all the nitty-gritty things that make a cafe run. I think it's pretty important to know that going into it, that it's not all glamorous like slinging drinks. There is a back end to it that's equally as important as the coffee making. Along with that too, one of the things to know as you go into the job is that there may be things in the job that you don't enjoy doing quite as much, and that is okay, but the important part is to pull your weight alongside all your other coworkers. So part of your job is gonna be making coffee, part of it's the other stuff. And that's just how it rolls. Number 3, and this will be kind of a theme throughout this entire list, is gonna be make sure to rest and recuperate both physically and mentally when you're off shift. If you've worked in food service for any amount of time, you understand that these are long, physically intensive shifts, usually ranging anywhere from 6 to 9 hours, maybe even longer if you're doing doubles or working 2 jobs. Food service is a lot of standing on your feet. It's a lot of lifting things. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of just being very adept in your mind. And frankly, that is exhausting. Making sure while you're on and off shift to be taking breaks appropriately, to be sleeping well, to be getting proper nutrition, to be hydrating, all of these things are so important for your physical health. And conversely, on the other side, your mental health is also important. So making sure you're taking time to rest from all that social interaction you're doing, making sure you're taking time to cool down from everything. These are all equally important as those physical components. Now we are 1/3 through the list here, so I'm gonna go grab some coffee. I will be right back and then we'll continue. I want to give a huge thank you to Headspace for sponsoring today's video. I don't think I've ever had a time in my life where my answer to the question, how's it going, isn't good, but busy. Between my content, jobs, and now competition preparation, it feels like each day just gets busier and busier. And don't get me wrong, I do like the busyness, but there always has to be a balance. And above all else, I've learned over the years that taking time to rest and recharge is vital to maintaining a positive and creative headspace. No pun intended. Headspace's mission is to provide access
access to mental health support, tools, and best practices. Through meditation, sleep casts, mindful movement, and focus exercises, Headspace aims to help you meet your wellness goals, whether they involve getting better sleep or just reducing your daily stress. Through their app, you can explore over 500 different meditations and find what clicks best with you. And really, finding what works best for you is the key to all this, because everyone has a different routine and type of guidance. I personally find taking time to meditate in the morning and evening sets me up for success, both by starting off my day in a good place and then closing it down in a good place. It can be as little time as just a few minutes, and honestly, for me, even just having accountability to help me build a new good habit is something I really benefit from. But you don't have to take my word for it, because if you head down to the top link in the description, you can try out Headspace for 60 days for free. Again, that's the top link in the description, or you can scan the QR code that's on screen. Also, let me know in the comments what you do for your own self-care, or if you don't have a routine right now, what do you think you might benefit from? And again, thank you to Headspace for sponsoring today's video.
Cheers. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4, this is very important. Cleanliness is key, and don't skip steps just because you think a customer can't tell, because truth is they probably can. There's a lot of jokes online about kind of the red flags of a cafe, and they usually involve things like someone not cleaning a steam wand after they steam their milk, or maybe they're using a dirty portafilter that they didn't wipe out completely. And yes, these are haha red flags, but also they're very real and things that I've seen happen in cafes. Moral of the story is you never know who's watching, but that should not be the primary reason that you're cleaning things. You should be cleaning and practicing good hygiene all throughout your workflow, simply because it's the right thing to do, and also it's gonna make your life and the coffee way better. It can be easy to kind of fall down the rabbit hole and slippery slope of like, maybe I won't clean it this time, or maybe I'll get it next time. And if you let those habits build up, it can lead you to a lot of trouble down the road. Number 5, at the halfway point. You will make mistakes, and that is perfectly fine. We're all human, and mistakes in cafes are bound to happen. This could be something spilled. This could be a drink made incorrectly. It could be anything. Those things are gonna happen. That's totally normal. I could not tell you the amount of mistakes I've made over my life. Maybe someday we'll do a video about my top 10 cafe mistakes. But the key to when you make a mistake is to simply recognize it, find a solution, and move quickly past it. Whether this is an apology, whether it's simply recognizing the mistake, whether it's a quick remake, these are solutions that will take you maybe a couple of minutes, will lead to happier parties on both sides, and it doesn't have to be a huge deal. And if you've made a mistake that is a big deal, well, I'm sorry, and you might have to fix that. But for the most part, mistakes are small things and they're easy to solve. Number 6, invest in your own comfort on shift. I mentioned before when we talked about taking care of your physical health that shifts, they are long. Working in food service can be a very, very physically laborious job, but there are things you can do to take care of your body along the way, and that kind of starts with the physical wear that you're in. Now, this is something I am still learning how to do, as I'm fully in love with wearing my Doc Martens on shift, but make sure you are wearing proper footwear on shift. And that's not simply just closed-toed shoes. That is shoes that are gonna support you and treat your body right. There are many brands out there that create shoes that are specifically for people that work in food service. They're made for those long hours of standing on your feet. You could 100% go that route, or you could do something as simple as investing in nice insoles that are going to support your feet in your current shoes. Whichever route you go, your feet and your back will thank you so much down the road. Number 7, 95% of the time, they aren't mad at you. You're just the one in front of them. Barista work can be really, really fun. It can be enjoyable and fast-paced, and you can feel really good while doing it. But there is always the other side of it, and this is true of customer service, where you're gonna have bad interactions. Someone is going to be angry or annoyed or lashing out at you in a way that is probably pretty unfair. At the end of the day, we should all be treating each other with kindness and how we want to be treated, but that's simply not how it works. Something to keep in mind is that 95% of the time, they aren't mad at you. You just happen to be the person in front of them that was the final straw in whatever is going on in their day. Now, this does not justify a customer's poor behavior whatsoever, but it's something to remember that can make it a little bit easier to take in and move past. This line is a little bit cheesy, but it's something I grew up hearing a lot, and honestly, it's been really valuable in my own time in service, is that whatever you focus on expands. And that's not to say you should only focus on the positive things and kind of rose-colored glasses your way through your work. It's just saying that there are gonna be bad things there are gonna be good things. Whichever one of those you focus on is gonna be the predominant feeling you have about your job. And so I personally find that focusing on the good things is what I prefer to do. Again, a little bit cheesy, but I think it works. Number 8, a cafe does not run without teamwork and communication. Communication is so important in food service. It is the backbone for us getting jobs done effectively and quickly and leading to good customer experiences. Now, whether you work on a really small team or a large team, the principle is the same. You should be communicative with your team members, and you should also be ready to join your shift as a team player. Everyone has a role, whether it's behind bar or behind the line, and being communicative about where you are, what you're doing, and what your needs are gonna help your teammates help you succeed. Having worked in high volume cafes, it can be so easy to get bogged down by the line and the flow and the customers and the rush and all of that stuff. But you have to remember that you are not stuck on an island. You have a team around you who are there to support and help you, and vice versa. Being willing and able to confidently voice your needs as a barista behind bar is very, very important to success. Number 9, take care of your body in repetitive tasks. Now, this may seem like a repeat of some of the things we talked about before, but it's not, because we're gonna talk about Barista Wrist. Barista Wrist is just carpal tunnel, if you didn't know that. Now, depending on the cafe you work at, you may be making 30 drinks a day, or 50, or 100, or hundreds, or even thousands. But regardless of the quantity you make, you are doing repetitive motions over and over and over again. When it comes to espresso, you are tamping, you are locking in a portafilter, you're pouring, you're lifting things, and all of those actions over a long period of time will start to wear down your body a bit. It's a very, very common thing for baristas to have carpal tunnel in their dominant hand from tamping in an incorrect way for too long. Or it doesn't even have to be incorrect. It can just be a way that provides a very slight amount of strain on your wrist, and over time that strain adds up to some pretty serious pain. I wish I had known this early on in my barista life, but pay attention to what actions you're taking and how you're taking them. And if you start to feel the beginning stages of any sort of discomfort or joint or muscle pain, look at what you're doing and figure out if there's a better way to do it so you can save yourself some long-term frustration. Number 10, and I think this is one of the most important, at least to me, is that you should be proud of the work you do and the things you serve. I believe that our role in hospitality and in coffee as baristas is to provide our customers with excellent drinks, of course, but on top of that, we should be providing them with excellent service, hospitality, which often means a level of care and connection and warmth that goes beyond just the basics of serving something that tastes good. You've all seen me wax poetic about hospitality and barista work far too many times in competition, but it really is at the core of why I love doing this and why I think a lot of other people love doing this. I had a hospitality experience that was very impactful for me really, really early on in my life. And that was really kind of the goal of why I became a barista, is I wanted to pass on even a little bit of that experience to someone else. And so I think that's kind of key to being proud of what you're doing, is if you're giving people the experience that you would want to receive. Okay, those are my top 10 things that I wish I knew before becoming a barista. Again, I want to prompt you all to let me know what things you wish you knew down below, because these were 10 things, but this list could easily be 100, like very, very easily. I kept it compressed for you. Don't worry, and you're welcome. This was a lot of fun. I hope you learned something, or this was a little bit valuable for you. And also, if you're at the very beginning of your barista journey, congratulations, welcome, and I hope you are having a good time so far. Regardless, my name is Morgan. You can find me here on YouTube once a week plus shorts. You can also find me on TikTok or Instagram almost every single day. I'm gonna go have a couple more sips of my coffee. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my day, and I hope you do too. See you, everyone.